Alrighty, we're live. Oh, there it is. The game popped up. Always is a little bit of a dance with OBS to get it to actually detect Katawa Shoujo. But we're back to continue the story. Oh. Hello, my dear. Welcome to the stream. Shady encounter. Okay, so we just had like the night out with Hanako at the Shanghai, because Lily had to go home early for like student council business or something. And this was the morning after, and we're at the track, which is somewhere I did feel we haven't been for a while. So yeah, let's get right into it. The summertime sun is something to be savoured, but when combined with the clean country air, it's all the better. The track and field club members are horsing around on the field ahead. Some are playing with a soccer ball, others are talking, and a few laugh as two of them mock fight with each other. None of them pay me any heed as I sit alone on the grass, underneath the shade of a particularly large tree. It's a nice and peaceful moment after a dreary day of schoolwork. I played soccer pretty often before my heart attack, so I had thought it would be really nostalgic to watch them. What I'm feeling now, though, is quite distinct from that emotion. Oh, is that someone approaching us? The answer is yes. Oh, that's good. I can let you know more about it. I'm sure we'll be chatting later in the day. Oh, had we met you before? You're not. Or is she just one of the girls who was in like that overview of the class we saw? Okay. It is one of our classmates, but I'm just trying to think. I feel I've seen this portrait before, but I can't remember who. I hear footsteps approaching from behind me, and I turn to my side to see one of my classmates taking a seat beside me. I'm taken off guard as the two of us haven't talked much before, and I didn't think anyone would notice me here. Miki, is she one of the other runners in the track team? I'm wondering if it's maybe like in the scenes of Emmy running that we've seen her before. She's in the background in CGs. Oh, okay. Sup? Hi. Miura, wasn't it? Just call me Mickey. Surnames are too stuffy. Oh, likewise then. We both look back out to the field where the guys are playing. It looks like they're getting ready to have a second game, with people spreading out to their positions and the ball being carried to the center of the field. Sure enough, the whistle is blown to begin the match, and they get right back into it. Not going to play? Just gonna rest for a bit. What about you? You kinda looked like you wanted to play when you were watching us before. So someone did notice me after all. It's kind of a long story. Her face says that I've piqued her interest. I'm in Yamaku because I've got a heart condition. I can't really play soccer anymore. Wanted to be a soccer player, did you? No, I only really did it for fun. My friends played it, so I played it as well. Any of those guys playing around could have been me before my accident, but I don't feel like I have any real wish to go back to that either. It's a little hard to explain. I'm still decently physically built from the days when I played, even if my strength's largely left me by now, and I got on well with the other club members. You could still have some of your strength piece out if you do your running. When I think about it, I should feel pretty bad watching people play when I can't anymore. Yet I don't. Maybe it's a good thing. A sign that I've gotten over it and that I'm ready to become a new person. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling. It's cool. I'm actually glad to hear that. Sounds like you really have your stuff together. Some of the people that come to Yamaku are pretty messed up at first. So, you're a member of the track and field club then? Yep, been in since I first arrived. I don't suppose you're friends with Emmy? Short, fast runner, no legs? I don't think there are all that many female track and field members. Emmy. Everyone knows about her, don't they? Nah, I tend to get on better with guys, so me and Emmy don't really talk much. Anyway, what about you? Well, I'm not really in any clubs. Real clubs, anyway. You've been hanging around with Hanako and that blonde Amazon, though, right? Just because she's a little on the tall side. Blonde Amazon? I suppose Lily has the height to fit that description, if nothing else. I nod in response, without making too fine a point of things. Yeah, then don't worry about it. As long as you've got some friends, you don't need to join a club. A loud whistling from the field attracts our attention. One of the players is on the ground, clutching his legs, and the others stop play to jog up to him, leaving Mickey grimacing. Ouch, that looks painful. That guy really has bad luck. As she continues to look out onto the field, I can't help being reminded of her own injuries. Her left arm, ending in a stump rather than a hand, has been bandaged up for the entire time I've been in Yamagu. And her injury doesn't seem that new. Lily's only got the height, doesn't have to. Yeah. And I wonder if, like, is she really that tall as well? Like, from what I've seen of her, she hasn't given me the impression that she's like overly tall to, like, not to earn the title of Amazon anyway. She turns to talk to me again and catches me looking. Both of us sit in awkward silence as she takes her bandaged arm and holds it in her lap with her other remaining hand. Sorry. Guess I'm still a bit... it's fine, really. Her tone is light, but neither of us says anything afterwards. Every disabled student here has their own way of dealing with their problems, and some finding their conditions troublesome is only natural. I'm included among them, after all. The injured guy from the soccer game manages to get onto his feet with some help, and ends up hobbling off the field with one arm over the shoulder of another for support. Probably just pull a muscle if he can still manage to walk. The whistle blows again, and the game continues once more with one less man on the field. Howdy, Candy. Welcome to the stream. How are things with you today? Hanging out with Hanako and that blonde girl. You keep some pretty strange company. How so? It's just that Hanako's kind of... I don't know. Shy? No, it's not really that. It's just... she's got some issues, I think. I can't really put it in a nice way. Not that I don't think she's a nice person, though. She's perfectly nice. Just hard to deal with. It sounds like Miki, or at least some other people in the class, have tried to get closer to Hanako in the past, and it didn't go well. I think her judgment is rather harsh, given that everyone, not just those in Yamagu, have their own issues. Then again, I haven't known Hanako for that long, so it wouldn't surprise me if there was some stuff I didn't know about. Bored out of my skull, you have nothing to do at work. Oh. Yeah, that's one of the things. When you're at work, you want it to be busy enough that you have things to do and keep your attention. Oh, I know, like, when I was had my shift on Tuesday, it was very quiet, and I just spent a lot of time just kind of at the checkout, because I was the only person there really, like, free to man the checkout. And yeah, it just weren't enough people there to give me stuff to do, but it's such a front-facing role, I can't really be seen to be, like, sitting on my phone the whole time or anything. Also tired after staying up from a new stream last night. No. I understand what that's like. Even if I know I've missed the last few streams, with my brain suddenly deciding it needs proper sleep. Probably more obvious with Hanako, since where she's like. Oh. You didn't have to say. Yep. We all make those choices ourselves in the name of entertainment. I'll just take it as it comes. She's a nice person. I think that should be all that matters. Miki's eyes narrow a little and her smile spreads. You really like her, don't you? Miki certainly doesn't mince words. Okay. Deny it or admit it. I feel the correct choice is... I mean, is the... My instant feeling is the correct choice is probably to admit it. But then there's also the part of me that's kind of like, I don't know. Like, are they... has Hisao, like, does he know her well enough to say he likes her? Because I think it's only, like, once, like, he's, like, actually seriously brought... I don't think it's even, like, recently. But I think he's about to be Tsundere. No, but I think it's only once he kind of, like, brought up the thought, like, considering... Yeah, like, this was the thought he had just... Well, I think it was just yesterday. But whether they may be... whether his feelings may be the seed for something beyond what we share now. So... Like, I think he's... Like, the honest answer is, like... Oh, not that he doesn't like her romantically yet, but he's kind of acknowledged that if things keep going the way they are, he might end up going that way. But I get the distinct feeling I am probably overthinking this again. And besides, denying it could make it sound like... Yeah, you don't want to make it sound like you dislike her. Join my overthinking of something. My brain... This is why I have trouble in social situations, because my brain will think of the possible responses and have to process all these things. Hanako's route is distinctly different than your routes in one key way, but you probably don't realize it. Okay. So I did put a save down, didn't I? Yes, I did. So I will go with what I think the correct answer is, that is, admitting it. To be completely honest, yeah, I do. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell anyone. Hey, whoa, you can trust me. No problems there. To be honest, I think it's kind of cute. If you want to go for it, don't let me stop you. Thanks. She may say that, but she was just talking about Hanako having issues. Still, I want to hold myself to the words I said. Hanako's problems don't matter. I'll deal with anything that comes up, because I want to help her. If there's even the smallest possibility that I can pull Hanako out of her depression and seclusion, then I should work towards that. No matter what. If she needs a prince, then I will be that prince. Okay, Hisao, you're going... That's... not a line of thinking you should be going down at. It's one thing hoping you can... It's one thing hoping that you can help someone out, like, of a depression like that, but you can't pull them out, like that. To quote Oshino from Monogatari, like, you can't save people. People have to save themselves. All you can do is lend a hand. Because if you give yourself the responsibility of saving someone else like that, you're most likely just going to end up disappointed and feeling bad about yourself because you can't do it. You're playing a dating sim and you're considering the possibility of saying no. I suppose yes, but look, I wouldn't be me if I stopped overthinking things. This is this is what I do. But yeah, this Hisau's concerning me again. As I think about the possibility of a relationship, I can see Miki grinning at me while watching my face. I'm no doubt blushing, and looking away from her only makes her laugh. Miki gives off a different vibe from the other girls. But talking to her feels more like talking to a guy than a woman. Her saying she prefers male company doesn't help to dispel that notion either. A glance at my watch shows that lunch break is ending in only a few minutes. Time to start heading back to class. Simultaneously love and hate it if I wound up. Oh, no. I really hope I don't. This game, like, causes me stress when it starts going bad. Oh, like, Emmy and Lily's route never felt like it got too bad, but when Emmy's and Rin's routes started going bad, I felt that in my gut. Oh, lunch is about to end. Want to head back? Yeah, we'd better. I pick myself up off the grass and dust myself off, offering a hand to Miki to help her up as well. She takes it and easily pulls herself up, showing the muscles moving in her toned bare arms in the process. You narrowly avoided everything. I am aware you mentioned at the time how close I was. Come to think of it, why aren't you wearing the normal girl's blouse? It's too hot and constricting. Boy's uniform is better anyway. She throws her arms around a bit to emphasize her point, which has the side effect of showing off one particular part of her body that would be especially constricted by the blouse. The two of us start to walk back to the main building through the gardens, talking as we go. It sounds like you're settling in well. That's a relief. It was pretty surprising to get a transfer student at this point in the year, considering the exams are coming up. Don't remind me. Don't worry about them. Just cram it and you'll be fine. That doesn't sound like good advice. She claps my shoulder a couple of times as she grins. I don't think she takes school very seriously. Hey, you seem like a smart guy, and Muto's taken to you well already. You're like a hand in a glove. Now, to work out whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I still don't know what to make of this school. I've been here a few weeks already, and I still feel dazed at times. You'll get used to it. Just give it some time. It's only a high school, just like any other. She makes it sound so simple, but I've never thought about it that way. To me, Yamagu symbolized a marked shift in my life. I was no longer normal. I was different, and was to be educated with other different people. And yet, I'm walking back to class and talking casually with a classmate during lunch after watching some others play a soccer game. All perfectly normal. Maybe she has a point. Maybe I should just look at Hanako in the same way. Everyone has their own issues. This is hardly something unique to Yamagu. After all, it's only a high school, just like any other. As we continue to talk, I find myself smiling. Miki and I are very different people in almost every way, but it feels good to have gotten to know another classmate a bit better. It is nice to see you have friends outside of the romance options. I think that was what I enjoyed about Lily's route, was that you still had a friendship with Hanako. In Emmy and Rin's, it felt like very quickly you got isolated from the other. Like in Rin's, you didn't end up hanging out that much with Emmy. And same with Emmy, you didn't end up hanging out with Rin that much. A light breeze blows the scent of early summer around my head while I wait for Lily. Small white clouds litter the sky, breaking up the monotony of the blue. Hisao, are you here? Lily's voice lilts on the breeze, as if they were one and the same thing. I stop gazing into the sky to examine Lily. With a peach off-the-shoulder sweater and tan ankle-length skirt, in addition to tan sandals, she's quite a nice sight. Oh, yeah, I'm over here, Lily, near the gate. Were you able to sneak away from Hanako? Yes, it's not uncommon for me to go out during weekends, so I don't think she noticed anything suspicious. That and she has someone she sees. Oh, I suppose maybe she needs a specialist doctor to make sure that her burns aren't getting infected or anything. It's also differentiate with Misha and Shizune's route, but that's... Yeah, I'm not too surprised by that. But it would be nice to like see Hisao like with more... Like to have like some more side characters to kind of like show that Hisao like does have friend groups outside of his love life. Because I don't know how much I want to count Kenji. Lily purses her lips, as if she maybe shouldn't have continued. I find it a little hard to believe. Hanako's seen someone? Really? No, it's just... She sees a therapist every so often on weekends. Okay. I was right, it was some kind of... doctor. Oh, well, that does make a lot of sense. Lily rubs her arm uncomfortably, and after one look at her troubled expression, I quickly move to change the topic away from Hanako. Huh. Yes? I was just wondering, you can get around the city on your own? Lily sighs at my consternation surrounding the topic of her blindness. I'm my own worst enemy sometimes. I can, yes. It's easier when I'm out with with a friend or my sister, though. I wonder how Lily gets along with her sister. And being an only child, it's hard to imagine what having a sibling would be like, so it makes me a little envious of her. Right, well then, the bus arrives in a few minutes, so we should probably get a move on. Indeed, it's a long wait if we miss this one. With that, we set off for the bus stop on the hill. It's only a small distance from the school gate, so it's very convenient. It's a nice view from here. Coming from the city, I never really got to see scenery like this, let alone on a daily basis. This area's nice for me as well. It's tranquil and away from the noises and smells of the city. Lily's head perks up in a trademark gesture of hers, signifying that she's caught a sound. Oh, here comes the bus. I look down the road to see the bus trundling up the hill. Her hearing's quite a useful tool. The bus only takes a short while to reach the bus stop, forcing its way up the road. And within a minute, we are on our way to the city. Walking around the city, I feel a distinct nostalgia. The smells, the traffic, the tall buildings everywhere. It's a lot like my native city, save for the raised walkways. It feels a little weird, walking around a city as casually as I would in a park, but with cars rushing around underneath me. As I'm busily pondering the engineering marvel that is the raised walkway, I get a surprise. That is something I did notice, like, technically Hanako's burn scars are long since healed. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was just curious, like, if they were like that, like, given how prevalent they are, just if there's still the risk that of anything happening with them. I've never really looked into much like how like large burns like that are treated. Yeah. Thinking of raised walkways, I noticed they do seem like rather more common in Japan. Well, to be fair, I've only been to a couple of cities in Japan, but all of them seem to make use of raised walkways. Which is something that, yeah, we don't really have over here. And they are pretty useful. This point's more flexibility issues. Yeah. Oh, that's actually something though, isn't it? I'm trying to remember. I don't if Hanako mentioned what age that happened at. No, because can't that cause like problems? Like if you have like large scale scar tissue, and like when you hit a growth spurt. Hadn't I heard like scar tissue like struggles to, like the skin around it struggles to grow properly? This one would be to reveal lightning scarring is different? Oh, okay. You know, I'm very my medical knowledge is not great. That might have been painful for her. Yeah. I'm just trying to remember, like, I don't know if she'd mentioned like how young she was when it happened. It takes a moment for me to realize that Lily has wrapped her arm around mine, extending her cane in front of her with her other hand. For a moment I'm startled, but I managed to keep enough of a lid on it for Lily not to notice. Well, it's not the first time that Lily's relied on me for guidance. She'd only held onto my sleeve's cuff before. It's logical that it would be easier for her to navigate a crowded and complex area such as a city while securely linked, but I'm far from being as used to this kind of contact as Lily is. Finally realizing the growing silence between us as Lily waits for me to get moving, I quickly kick my brain into gear. You know, it was quite a surprise that Hanako likes to sing. Have you ever heard her do that before? I have indeed. We've been to karaoke sessions several times, along with my sister. I can't say I take to the activity much, but the other two like it. Scarring can have problems with growth spurts, but usually isn't it? Okay. I was just thinking again, like, with how prevalent it is with Hanako, like if it's covering like nearly half her body. Scars I guys get just change position on your body as you grew. Yeah, I imagine like with normal scarring, it's not that much of an issue. I'm just again like thinking Hanako's. Most people don't have like that much scar tissue on their body. Maybe Hanako doing karaoke is more fitting than I initially thought. Just her and those she knows, all alone in a little room. It would give her a rare chance to let her guard down with nobody else there to judge her. Maybe it would be nice to bring her into town for a karaoke birthday party, if she likes doing it. I'm not sure she would deal very well with the excitement. I moved to protest, but her face shows that she's mulling the proposal over some more. It takes quite some time for her to come to a conclusion. Then again, the best thing we can do for Hanako at this point is to try to create some pleasant birthday memories. Continually treating her as if she's abnormal won't help. I think you're right. If she has something to remember apart from loss, then maybe she'll come around. If we bought her something nice that she could see every day, then maybe she'd be able to take her mind off her past and remember that she has friends. And in any case, I think Hanako can handle something like this. In the time I've spent beside her, I've learned that she isn't quite as frightfully fragile as I first thought she was. So, shall we be off? I'm not really sure about the layout of this area. Very well. I might like to suggest having something to eat first. I haven't either, so that sounds like a good plan. Make sure you choose a nice place, Hisao. She gives a teasing smile, one that makes me smile reflexively in response, even if she can't see that. I'll make very sure I do, don't worry about that. Nope. The same place we went in her own route. Once inside, I order 2 slices of pie and accompanying cups of tea and take them back to our table. I'd pegged this cafe as the type to appeal to Lily. Small and quiet, but well kept and somewhat upscale. Going by the dainty smile she wears, I don't really know if I chose right. It's very, very rare to not see her smiling after all. Nevertheless, I take a seat near her at one of the corner tables and lay down our small meals. It's just occurred to me, I wonder if, like, after the exams, if Lily and Hanako, like, will we still be going to the little, like, summer house again? I'm trying to remember if that was something, like, if there were events that happened specifically in Lily's route that led to that, or if it was just kind of the plan already. Burn scarring is different. Unlike regular scar tissue, which can be tight and tough, burn scarring can be softer and more sensitive. Oh, okay. Keep reading. Okay. Sorry, Mooney's getting impatient with me. Lily gingerly brings her head over the slice of pie placed in front of her, delicately taking in the aroma. Lemon pie, is it? Thank you, Hisao. Lemon. I do like lemon. No problem. The tea's just next to it, so be careful not to knock it over. She nods appreciatively, but judging from the slightly weak smile she has, the warning wasn't really necessary. I suppose the sound must have tipped her off to its position. We both tuck into our food without further ado, both of us remaining largely silent as we do so. Lily isn't the type to appreciate discussion while eating, and I can't say I like it either. I mean, you find out. Okay. Okay. Sorry, for a moment I thought that was just you going, keep reading, stop getting distracted by chat. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, the only scar I have really is a burn scar. Which, yeah, I've never really, it's not really a bad burn. But that was, yeah, I ended up, when I worked at McDonald's briefly, getting myself burnt on the wire. What are they called? One of the fryer cages. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's any more sensitive than normal. Skin cancer is a serious risk though, or blooming could always be quite. Oh, yeah, I suppose your clothing as well, if your skin's... You have a scar on your knee from when you fell on the asphalt as a kid? Funny, it's... No. Yeah, well, I think that's the thing about scars, is they don't... They tend to be with you for quite a while. Well, but no, I don't... Yeah, I did... Well, to be fair, I think I did used to have a scar on my thumb. But it was, I managed to cut myself on when I collected, the first time I was collecting Warhammer models. And, one of the spears on the characters, like, scraped across my thumb. And that, I could see, like, you could see the mark from that, like, lasted for years. But I think it's narrow enough. I think it was narrow enough that by now yeah, I think it's gone. So, but I remember for years I would be able to look and still like trace the exact line where it was. But I suppose that was a very narrow one. Maybe small enough that it could heal eventually. Eventually we finish both our meals, and the last of our teacups follows in short order. Lily's the first to break the silence. That was very nice. I must say you've chosen quite well, Hisao. This is the first time I've really had much of a look around the city, so all I could really do is choose somewhere that looked nice. Damn. Sorry. I feel really bad for inadvertently bringing up the subject of sight around Lily, but she doesn't appear to mind much. Quite the opposite, she almost looks amused by my awkward attempt at an apology. You are thoughtful, Hisao, but sometimes I fear that it gets the better of you. There's no need to change your speech on my account. Lily truly is pretty comfortable in dealing with her condition. I still hasten to change the subject, as I can't really say that I share her confidence in the matter. So, yeah, I suppose that's something that does, like, separate Lily from, at the very least, Hanako and Emmy, is that she's been blind from birth. Whereas both Hanako and Emmy, like, they weren't born that way. No. And then, to be fair, I think Rin was... I think in her own way, like, Rin was comfortable with herself. It was when, like, other people were trying to understand her, and she was trying to get other people to... Oh. Have you lived here for very long? It seems like you have this place pretty much sorted out. She quickly waves her hand in front of her face to dismiss the notion. It's nothing like that. I've attended Yamaku since the start of high school, but I didn't walk around the city very much because of Akira. I didn't walk around the city very much because Akira, my sister, picked me up and dropped me off. Oh, right. You mentioned not living in the dormitories until recently. It's quite a surprise. I had just assumed she'd been living here since entering Yamaku at least, which would give her a few years here. Half of Rin's entire plot is her trying to understand her. Nice. Yeah. Oh. To be fair, I feel almost like blaming blaming people around Rin for kind of like giving expectations that this is how people should think, this is what's going on. Oh. I've lived with my family for most of my life. Then I was just together with my sister. With my family having moved to Inverness long before, and Akira working longer hours, I ended up having to move. Inverness? Isn't that somewhere in Scotland? Hisao just knows that off the top of his head. Oh, did I not tell you? My family currently lives in Scotland, the birthplace of my mother. My father's side is mainly Japanese, though. Huh. The question of what gave Lily her looks did cross my mind every now and again, but I'd never thought to ask. That answers that, then. To be honest, I'd never have guessed. Considering you have no accent, I'm guessing you were born here? Full marks. I am thankful for my heritage, though, as without it I'd likely have not been taught English so early in my life. And what of you, Hisao? What about me? She gives a moment's thought. She probably should have thought of what to ask me before switching the topic. I'll go with, what are your plans for the future? Oh, Hisao doesn't have plans. To be honest, I haven't thought much about that recently. After my accident and subsequent months in hospital, enjoying my life here with you and Hanako has been enough for me. In fact, I don't think I've thought at all about a future for some time now. It seems almost futile. This is your last year of school. After this, you will have to fend for yourself one way or the other. His plan is that he doesn't plan on living. Oh no. He's not that depressed. It's not like I don't know that, I just haven't put much thought into it since then. She opens her mouth to continue, but gives a small sigh instead. She seems to have realized that she really doesn't know enough about my situation to go too deeply into this. Well, we all have our own pace. I just hope you'll take any chance you see. I understand. I'll think about it. He's convinced his heart is going to kill him soon. It doesn't sound like it. The way he's talking, it doesn't sound like that's the case to him. Like, he's definitely like emphasized like how he feels like his life is going to be restricted, but he doesn't seem to think too much about like. I don't know. I've not been getting the impression that he's convinced that he's not got long to live. I understand. I'll think about it. I think it's just like there's so much changing for him in the present that kind of the future is hard to think about. He's made some comments about his mortality and everything. Yeah, but to be fair, those felt more like, at least from what I remember, more like kind of, well, there's the possibility I might not live very long. But like, it never gave me the impression, like, to the point like he's convinced, kind of like, there's no point thinking about the future because I'm not gonna have one. I think except maybe in like some of his darker moments he had. But mostly mostly from what I've been remembering, his concerns about the future are more kind of like, I'm never going to be able to do anything because my heart's just going to, like, keep me bedridden. Like, I suppose it's less about physical. I suppose there is in a sense, he's convinced his heart is going to, like, metaphorically kill him. Like, it's going to just deny him any chance of a normal life. Oh. So, did you get any good ideas for a present? To be honest, no. I've never been very good at picking them. As absurd as it sounds, perhaps we should just look around. Hearing Lily utter those words froze me for a moment. Right. How do we do that? That's just the reaction I was expecting. It's simple. You can go window shopping and just tell me what is around. If something interesting comes up, then we might get an idea. Right. I'm still not so sure of this, but I'll take your word for it. I think we'll manage. Hanako, my sister, and I managed to do it well enough. With Lily's simplistic and rather optimistic statement, we set off into the shopping district of the city, and I start describing everything I see to Lily. It's hard to think of Hanako going window shopping. She doesn't feel like the type to place much stock in fashion, nor have I noticed her reading magazines or the like. In fact, all I think I've seen her do as a hobby is read books. There's a houseware shop just ahead. Looks like it's mostly crockery, though. I can't think she'd have much of a need for that. What type of message would that send to her? Cook more food? That's not such a bad idea, maybe. Sometimes it's best to leave these things alone, Hisao. Once again, I get the feeling that Hanako's exploits in the kitchen aren't always successful. Lily must have had to help her with that sometimes. Let's see. Next along is a bookshop. But that seems like a good one. She's always reading. Yes, but there are a few problems with books. I'm not quite sure what she has and hasn't read. What about a gift card, then? There's nothing as impersonal as giving someone a gift card. It's like saying, I don't know enough about you to work out what you'd like. To be fair, that's a... So I'm on this kind of like one of those people who's kind of like, no, I'm happy. Like if it's a generic enough gift card, I'm happy enough with it. I'm happy enough with people giving me money as a present. I don't mind that it's impersonal. I'd rather get something that's impersonal and I can use it for what I want rather than someone trying to guess what I want. You're happy with a gift card? Yeah. It's one of those things, like, as long as you know like well enough to like what kind of store I'd want a gift card for. I always thought of it as making sure they got what they wanted. Giving people gifts is supposed to show them the level of affection you have for them. If you can't decide upon a simple gift for them, then how much could you think of them? Right. No gift cards. Lily seems overly passionate about this, but I can see her point. If you're going to get something for someone, then you should put at least some thought into it. But you know, some people would like the gift card. If I want to get something for Hanako that reminds her of us every day, then what good is a gift card? In that case, what did you get Hanako last year? A porcelain doll. I thought that if she had someone to talk to, it might help ease her pain. A doll isn't ever going to criticize her after all. So, should I be looking for a doll shop? Also, that just brought my memory to Garrow. And just the scene where there's an episode where Kaoru like is reunited with her like childhood teddy bear. And she kind of uses the teddy bear to kind of like practice her like talking to her boss and kind of like, no, I don't like the way you're treating me, I'm going to quit. So, should I be looking for a doll shop? If you could be so kind as to keep a lookout for one, I would be grateful. Sounds good to me. Though I wish you'd mentioned it earlier. But if I did that, then you wouldn't have started thinking for yourself, would you? Once again, Lily has a point. My brain is currently analysing every store we pass for gift options. If Lily had mentioned a doll shop to begin with, I wouldn't have thought of anything else. We wander through the city streets, but seem unable to find anything that resembles a doll shop, or anything that I could consider a fitting present. I mean, how many shops are there that would sell, like, just dolls? The simple act of searching is starting to clear my head. The events of last week are starting to fade away, and I'm looking forward to giving Hanako her gift. If I can find one, that is. This is hopeless. I thought we'd be able to find something in the city for sure. And I'm sure we've walked down the street at least once before. That almost sounds like you're giving up, Hisao. I'm not, but it's a lot harder than I thought. Try not to be so restricted in your thinking. Maybe we should actually go into some shops and have a look around. That might work. I've never really been any good at window shopping. Lily and I circle around the city streets once more, this time popping into stores to catch our attention. In the end, though, nothing comes up as especially appropriate. Hanako's tastes are often quite hard to pin down at the best of times, thanks to her intensely private nature. And those tastes we do know are hard to accommodate. Maybe take a break for a minute. I'm a bit exhausted. I agree and leave Lily to rest against a railing while I go to get a couple of drinks from a nearby vending machine. After walking up to the vending machine and grabbing myself some lemonade, I find myself at a bit of a loss. Not really knowing Lily's tastes, I decide to take a guess and grab something that seems a little girly but not too weird. Strawberry-flavored milk. Back. I walk up to her and place the carton into her outstretched hands, making sure she has a grip on it before letting go. She feels out its contours before opening it and taking a very tentative sip, her approving smile afterwards telling me I made the right choice. Lily is far more trusting than I would be. Like, if someone put a carton of something that, like, I couldn't tell what it was into my hands, like, I wouldn't... I'd need to know what I'm drinking before I drink something. We both rest and have a quiet drink for a few minutes. A familiar soft ringing begins to sound from Lily's side. She quickly apologizes as her hand goes into her pocket, pulling out her mobile phone. Did she expect he's at a point? I'm not saying that, but it's just... do you not like to know, like, what kind of taste to expect? Like, is it going to be a little sour? Is it going to be maybe a little bitter? Sweet? What flavor should I be expecting? Do you mind if I take this? Oh, that's fine. Don't worry. She nods to me in thanks before turning away and flipping the phone open, bringing it to the side of her face as she picks up the call. Going by the tone of Lily's voice, the person on the other end is no doubt some friend or another. I tune out of their conversation pretty quickly, as the snippets that Lily says make it sound like little more than gossip. Without much else to do, I find myself watching Lily. She really is a pretty girl, which would hardly hurt her popularity in school. It's interesting just how much Hanako and Lily contrast to each other, in both personality and appearance. You trust your friends not to get... Oh. See, it's not about trust, it's just... Like, I'm not saying it would be terrible, but if you're expecting one thing and you get something else... So, like, the way my mum always puts it is, like, she loves both tea and coffee. But if she's expecting coffee and gets tea, it tastes horrible. And vice versa. But maybe that's just the autism talking, that it's kind of like, I don't like surprises. I like knowing what's going into my mouth. For a few minutes, I just lean back and drink, watching her. Before long, Lily says her goodbyes to the person she's talking to and hangs up, placing her phone back into her pocket and leaning back against the railing as before. Sorry, just a friend from class. I take one final swig from my can before throwing it into the bin. Lily gives me her carton to throw away soon after, finishing it off relatively quickly. You seem to have a lot of friends. Oh? Lily waits for me to continue, her interest piqued. I was just thinking that you and Hanako contrast really heavily. It's hard to imagine Hanako doing a lot of the things you do, or knowing the people you know. You seem to think about Hanako quite a bit. I don't know, it's just... she's mysterious, I guess. I kinda want to know more about her, which isn't that easy. It almost sounds like you're doubting your relationship to her. I don't think it's that, I just want to do more for her. Being her friend and all. I don't even really know how she sees me. This statement seems to interest Lily quite a bit. I wonder if Hanako said anything about me to Lily during their conversations. I'm about to ask what's on her mind as she picks herself up from the railing. Shall we be off, then? Her voice and expression show that she's playing games with me. Lily knows damn well that she's leaving me hanging. I'm kind of trying to remember, didn't she, like, say something in her own route that, like, Hanako, like, mentioned him, like, kind of regularly during their conversations? With a sigh, I pick myself up off the railing as well and have a brief look around. We have stuff to do, so I'll just try and get back to her about this later. The good old, I'll talk to someone about this later. Except maybe Hisao doesn't have ADHD, maybe he can actually remember. Tucked in between a newsstand and a convenience store is a small shop. The sign above the door reads, Othello's Antiques, in decorative English script. It would be easy to miss if we were walking along the street, but since we're stationary and I'm purposefully looking around, it's just noticeable. Say, Lily, that doll you got Hanako, was it new? Well, yes, but I'm not quite sure I know what you mean. I think I found our shop. It's across the road. Oh? What is it? Some kind of toy shop? It's an antique shop. I think it's probably going to be our best bet. Really? I didn't even know we had one of those near here. Neither did I. I missed it the first time we went by here. Excuse me. It's pretty well hidden. Well then, it can't hurt to check. Inspired by this new find, we quickly dust ourselves off and head towards the store, Lily's hand finding its way to my elbow for guidance. The store has a strange, musky scent to it. The layout is more like a garage than a store. Things are strewn across the floor without any immediate semblance of order. Excuse me? The shopkeeper gives us an almost bored look through his particularly small eyes. His face looks weary and tired, and his dress style is distinctly anachronistic. He gives us a polite nod of welcome before going back to his book. Lily holds tightly onto my arm, and I find myself having to split my efforts between making sure we don't miss a potential gift for Hanako and making sure Lily doesn't inadvertently bump into anything. The task is quite difficult given the haphazard way the store is laid out, and the many things poking out of the shelves they're on or sitting on pieces of furniture. But eventually we safely arrive at an old desk covered in dolls and teddy bears. I think this is the right place. There's pretty much every kind of doll you can imagine here. That should make the choice much simpler. Could you please pick one for me, Hisao? Excuse me? I had a feeling that it would come to this. I picture Hanako in my mind and try to imagine which of the dolls before me would suit her best. My eyes wander across the collection. Each one is as exquisite as the one before it. The sheer number of styles is boggling, but eventually one catches my eye. Here, what about this one? I pick up a small porcelain doll that looks to be at least somewhat affordable, dressed in a Victorian-era green dress with a little brown hat sitting atop its blonde hair. It looks a little like Lily. I gently pass it to her, who delicately feels her way around the object while wearing a look of slight concentration. It certainly feels beautiful. Do you think it would suit Hanako, in your opinion? I think it would. It could look good in her room. In that case, I'll trust your judgment. Will you be getting her something as well, or shall this be a shared gift? I'm not sure. I think I should get her something myself, but I don't think getting her another doll is such a great idea. Maybe... I let my voice trail off as I look around the shop. Resting on a writing table not far from us is a decorative box that catches my eye. Oh, wait here, I think I found something. Oh, my, that was fast. I gingerly walk through a collection of crystal glassware and pick up the box. The wooden sides are covered in carvings depicting ancient battles around a castle. The top, however, looks far too familiar. Alternating squares of white and black varnished wood are arranged on the lid. That's a really nice item. It's a chess set from overseas. The store owner's sudden appearance startles me a little. I didn't see him approaching at all. I suppose he's trying to help us because we don't really look like we know what we're looking for. Or, on the other hand, maybe he wants to keep an eye on us because he suspects we might shoplift instead. I'm looking for a present for a friend. I see. In that case, this chess set would make a fine choice. Realization floods into my mind. This is a pretty good-looking set, but this is an antique shop. They're not well known for their bargain prices. How old is this? This is a reproduction. My best estimate is that it's about 5 years old. I see. How much? He thinks a little before telling me, which is slightly disconcerting. I'll let you take this now for 7,000 yen. Okay, let me do some maths in my head. 7,000... That's like... £50? Like 40, £50? I think. Which is... It's a kind of pricey gift, but also... Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad for like a proper, like, ornate chess set. Could be a lot for yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if you're an adult with like a job and like money to spend, yeah, that's like that would make a pretty. That could probably be in your budget. But Hisao's made a point several times that he's money's a little tight for him. About $70 at the time period. Yeah, I was thinking probably about that. I bog a little. I wasn't expecting to spend that much, but this does seem perfect. And then again, maybe that's a testament to how well he worked out how much he could make me pay. Oh. The guy knows exactly kind of... What's the 45 now, given the yen is pretty weak. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's not too bad. I suppose maybe cheaper than like 40, 50 pounds then, because the pound is still stronger than the dollar, I think. So actually, yeah, not too further. If I think about £35, that. Yeah, I can see why that would be like in the perfect area of kind of going. That's a little pricey, but yeah, I can see for a high school student that does feel like the kind of it is that like sweet spot of the price where you think like it's expensive, but maybe just like not so expensive that it's out of the question. Oh, you couldn't make it 5,000? 5,500. No lower. I'm sold. Oh, we'd also like to get that doll. The store owner looks over my shoulder, focusing on Lily and the doll in her hands. His eyes narrow, and he visibly takes a moment to switch mental gears. In the process, his smile drops slightly. Ah. I guess that means that not everything in his store is a reproduction. Are you quite sure that you want that doll, miss? I trust my friend's judgment. I see. Oh, no offense. None taken. If you could please wrap it for me, it would be appreciated. Yes, of course, but it is 20,000 yen. Lily reaches into her purse and presents 4 crisp-looking 5,000 yen notes. Oh yeah, of course Lily has the well-off parents. Yeah, 20,000, so 20... If 7,000 is 7, that's about $200. That'd be about $200 at the time then, which is... Yeah, for a high schooler just to be able to, like, hand that over. Here you are, 20,000 yen. The storekeeper dutifully takes them and the doll and proceeds to the counter. I take Lily's arm to guide her there. Are you sure about this? It's okay. I have the funds I need. As I said, I trust your judgment. I feel a little guilty on two fronts. Firstly, because Lily has just spent a lot of money on my recommendation, and secondly, because I have a feeling the value of my gift isn't high enough. Oh, that's a... Sorry, just thinking back to the Bible and just the story of the poor woman at the temple. Jesus pointed out that there's like one of the Pharisees goes up and throws a bunch of money into the collection plate. And then an old woman comes along and puts in just 2 copper coins. And just a whole message of, who do you think gave more? The rich man who gave out of his excess, or the poor woman who gave out of her poverty? I gotta point out that her gift is worth more because she gave when it was difficult. Yeah, I think it's not always about the objective price of the gift. I think it was also just a way that Lily brought out the money. There didn't seem to be any hesitation or anything there. Just kind of oh, 20,000, perfect. Not even gonna flinch. No, I know that I used to be in situations like that when, well, I didn't have so much money. Or to be fair, it's not like I have a massive amount of money now either, but when I was even worse off. And any time I was out with the leaders of our youth groups and such, and they'd always offer to get me stuff there, if we were stopping by McDonald's or something after the group. Because I never had the money to get myself anything. No, it does feel kind of bad when the people around you, to them it's nothing to help you, but to you it feels so I feel makes you feel a little inferior when your friends and peers are able to they have that little bit more disposable income. I hand the shopkeeper my present and the money for it in turn. He puts the cash into the register before busying himself with wrapping the doll and repeating the process on the chessboard. Eventually, he finishes the gift wrapping and hands us both our presents. Please be careful on your way back, and do come again. Thanks. Indeed. Thank you very much. The store owner bows deeply to us as we leave. Well, it did take us all day, but we found something in the end. That we did. Now that the presents are wrapped, I'm feeling a little impatient to give them to Hanako. It's a common reaction to buying gifts, wanting to see the reaction of the receiver as they discover what it is. Yeah, I know that. We're actually going to be I'm going to have to be looking for Christmas presents soon. We've got our Secret Santa tags handed out. And part of me wants to return to Hanako just to confirm her condition with my own eyes. So, should we head back? Let's. We've done a lot of walking today, so I shan't mind taking a rest back at the dormitories. Lily's right. Now that the need to find a shop is over, my legs are feeling quite tired. Well then, back to the school for us. I'm looking forward to resting for a bit too. Lily holds out her arm and I link mine with hers. Together, we make our way back to the bus stop. and to the next day. Or are we skipping straight to the birthday? Muto reads oh. Okay, this is the not tense music. This is the one that just makes me think it's tense, right? Muto reads equations and formulas to us one by one, in his usual unenthusiastic monotone, directly from the book. It's possible that he might be excited about what he teaches us. Sometimes he can display an awkward spark of passion for it, as if he's starting to get into the material. Most days, however, are like this one. What we're covering is fairly simple, so I find it increasingly difficult to keep my concentration on him. It's not too long until my legs begin aching again, which only makes it even harder. I'm almost starting to regret walking around the city yesterday with Lily. Since leaving the hospital, I've done very little physical exertion. It's almost as if you should have kept up your jogging. One of these days you're going to listen to me, Hisao. Walking to and from the local corner store hardly counts. Despite Emi's attempts when I first arrived in Yamaku, I've largely given up on the idea of ever returning to my old level of fitness. That's entirely your own fault. I have little doubt that's why walking around the town for so many hours has made me quite so sore. It's depressing, and it reminds me of one more thing I can't do since I had my heart attack. You can do it, you just don't. It makes me feel pathetic. Sound like a frustrated dad. Well, am I wrong? We've seen the alternate timeline. We've seen that Hisao is capable. We get it. You get it. Hisao doesn't. No, Ikazawa? It's odd for Muto to ask Hanako a question, but not unheard of. She quickly jumps to her feet, a little startled, and immediately pins her eyes onto him. She knows that Muto calling on her is rare, so all eyes in the classroom are going to be on her. This way, she doesn't run the risk of making eye contact with anyone else. Yes? In this particular example of a redox reaction, the combustion of methane reaction actually produces one more product than is listed. That product is... Even though it's a softball question, she timidly waits a bit before answering, biting down slightly on her lower lip as if to keep her concentration. Heat? Well done. This is an exothermic reaction, with the reaction giving more heat than is put into it. Receiving a nod from Muto, Hanako takes her seat once again and gives a relieved sigh. A shaky start, but it's something. It'll be nice to take her out for her birthday, somewhere different from the usual isolation of her room and the tea room. With the progress she's made until now, I don't think she'll have much of a problem going into the city. Right then. For the remainder of this class, I'd like you to work in groups of 3 or 4 on the problems in Chapter 12. I'll be here if you need me. Muto sits down behind his desk, pulls some loose sheets out of a folder, and starts on some kind of paperwork of his own. I thought teachers were supposed to do that kind of thing after class, not during it. Oh. Regardless, I look to my right to pick out someone to form a group with. Given the 2 smiling faces hovering near mine, I don't think I'm going to get much say in the matter. I suppose we have a group, then. Hey, Chan! You want to work together? Okay. That's great. It's really been a while. The class begins the process of noisily shuffling the desks around, with Shizune doing the same as she puts hers in front of mine. She's a little lucky to not be able to hear the din of the classroom, which is loud enough to cause some discomfort. I think the main reason Hisao doesn't do jogging it. And okay, and Hisao is incapable of having platonic friendships with the girls. Truth be told, working with Shizune and Misha is probably a good outcome. Shizune and I are pretty good at this subject, and Misha has really nice handwriting. Oh. As I look to Misha, I notice a tall figure behind her. The shadow catches Misha's attention as well, and she turns to face the dark-haired observer. Good afternoon, Hanako. Hello. Shizune finally notices Hanako after looking up and following the gazes of Misha and I. In quick measure, she taps Misha on the shoulder to get her attention before signing away. He's the main character, he can't go full harm. Would that be despicable? Don't go full harm. Just have non-romantic friends. He proved he can do it in Lily's Root. He was friends with Hanako, and they were just friends. Shichan says if you're looking for a group, you can join ours. Friends are supposed to be That's my point. I'm just specifying it that there's not impossible to make characters polygamy or monogamy. There's no room for nuance. No. So, we saw that Lily's Root showed that that's not the case for Hisao. It's when you don't want to be just friends that's a problem, or... No. Yeah, well, yeah, but my point is, Hisao is capable of being just friends with the girls. Hanako looks down and blushes a little at the offer. Out of all the people in the class, Hanako's most familiar with the three of us, so it's reasonable that she'd come to us first. Then again, her actually coming up to a group with the intention of joining them is something she apparently very rarely did before. She leaves briefly to drag her desk over, and Shizune and Misha wheel back to me as soon as her back is turned. Oh. I guess we get to play again, Hitchan. You hardly ever play with us anymore. I wonder why. You two always seem to have some ulterior motive. That hurt, Hitchan. I'd almost think you were insulting me. It's Hitchan, so I know that you're joking. Such a great sense of humor about it. It'd be awful if someone were to take advantage of your good nature. Like making you help them with their work. Shizune seems excited for a second. A little surprised that I'm willing to challenge her, but when she sees Hanako coming back, she backs off with a smile. I guess the mind games are over early today. Oh, did Misha learn from their last interaction? To maybe tone it down when Hanako's around? Hanako gently sets down her desk in front of Misha's. Her eyes are locked downwards, and I'm left wondering why until I look around the class. Most are busy setting up their own groups, but a few are casting curious glances at her. At this range, it's hard to tell whether that is where their interest in her ends, or if they are talking about her as well. It's strange. No one bats an eyelid when Hanako runs out of the class to avoid group work, but now that she's making an effort, they're staring at her as if she's done something wrong. Oh, yeah, that's like the thing I think I mentioned last stream on it. Like, the example I use is like, if you have someone at home who's very isolated, like they stay in their room a lot of the time, and then they finally decide to come down for family dinner, one of the worst things you can do is like bring attention to it. No, and make them feel self-conscious about their decision. We all move to sort ourselves out, spreading our textbooks and worksheets around a larger surface created by the four joined desks. It isn't long before the class as a whole gets down to work. Hi, Hanako. It's nice to finally work with you. Yeah. Oh, Misha! Well, I suppose if she's just translating for Shizune, maybe she can't. Yeah, like it'd be rude to censor. I suppose probably would it be rude to censor her? I feel like yes, it would be. Are you the reason Hitchan has been avoiding us lately? Shichan says it's a little rude, but if Hitchan wanted to spend time with a cute girl, it's understandable. I don't think it's like that. Hanako starts to fidget, unused to this kind of attention. I think that an ordinary person would drop the conversation by now, but Misha is like the antithesis of Hanako. Part of that includes being blind to ordinary social cues, while Hanako is overly sensitive to them. Because of that, Misha barrels ahead with the questions, too quickly for me to get a chance to interject and guide the discussion somewhere more comfortable. Really? So, he wasn't hanging out with you yesterday? No. I can feel my cover being blown already. Lily didn't want Hanako to know that we were out buying presents for her, let alone planning out her birthday party. It wouldn't be good for her to find out. Yeah, I was doing something else. You know how it is. Really? I wonder what was so important for Hitchan to blow us off like that. If it wasn't to spend time with Hanako, then what could it be? It's really interesting. Now this is starting to feel like an interrogation. I'm surprised at how Misha is able to exert such a feeling of pressure without actually intending to. Were you with Lily? Out of nowhere, Hanako manages to stumble on the answer. She may be dreadfully quiet and shy, but she's very intuitive. What makes you say that? Yesterday, Lily said something similar. Oh. Suspicious. Hitchan, I demand that you explain yourself. Hey, shouldn't we be doing the assignment? But it's so mysterious. Even Hanako wants to know. I turn to look at Hanako. It's true. From the expression on her face, it's obvious that she wants to know as well, and I think we're past the point where I could weasel out of having to provide an explanation. Just say the partly honest thing. The partly honest bit of just kind of like, hey, Lily was showing me around the city. I haven't been there yet. I apologize to Lily in my mind. She really did want to keep it a secret, but now it doesn't seem possible anymore. I feel a rush of conflicting emotions, so jumbled that I can't readily identify them, but they crash around in my head as I try to calm down and speak. Alright, I'll tell you. I went into town with Lily, but it wasn't what you think. Lily and I were, for Hanako's birthday, we were... The cat is out of the bag, but it looks like Hanako was taking it a little better than I thought she would. A brief silence passes around our little group as Shizune and Misha look at each other sheepishly. I can tell that they didn't expect our game to turn out like this. Misha looks up to Hanako in order to apologize, then pauses. Hanako is staring at the middle of her desk and barely moving, a maudlin expression on her face. I guess I was wrong about her taking it well. Hanako, I'm sorry. There's a few seconds pause, but Hanako lifts and shakes her head. It's okay. Her expression looks odd. Like she's very tired. That doesn't seem natural, but it's nothing alarming. Nobody really wants to continue with the current conversation, so we open our textbooks and begin our group work. This is pretty dull. While the equations we're supposed to work out as a group will take a while, most of it is going to be boringly mechanical. It also doesn't help that, while that didn't go as bad as it could have, it has left an awkward atmosphere around us. Still, we manage. Shizune's face betrays that she has about the same expectations of our work as I do, and the two of us begin to write our group's results. Misha, on the other hand, is scrunching up her lips and very visibly trying to make heads or tails of what we're doing. Hanako is looking on quietly, absorbing what we write and what I say. She usually has the same expression when the teacher speaks. It's a shame her attendance is so unreliable. With the way she takes in information, I think she'd do quite well in class, if she actually followed the lessons regularly. I wonder if this might be why Shizune seems to be so hard on her. Hey, Hanako? Do you understand this? Misha looks to Hanako, but I suspect her hope is more to find a comrade in ignorance rather than genuine help. Oh, the good old, please tell me I'm not the only dumb person here. I am... not really, I guess. I'm surprised by how tense she is in answering, but she settles back down. She breathes out, and the way her upper body and head lower reminds me of a deflating balloon. You okay? I could go over this bit if you want. Hanako shakes her head slightly, but then again, I don't think she needs the extra explanation despite what she said. Misha quickly interjects, entirely oblivious, and I end up slowly going through how we ended up at one of our results, step by step. Times like this remind me that this kind of work may not be mechanical for everyone, but rather feels that way due to my grasp of the subject. It's a satisfying feeling. As Misha brings her balled fist into an open hand in realization, I discover another nice feeling. My explanation got through to her, and she manages to work out the next equation by herself with a minimum of guidance. Throughout all of this, Hanako is unusually unresponsive. She's normally very quiet, but one can still see her eyes roving periodically over the landscape of the classroom in front of her, or anxiously moving her hands in some way, or shifting her shoulders periodically. What's going on? You're concerning me here. Right now, these small movements that I've gotten used to seeing are all missing. Someone not moving at all is definitely weird. Even Misha can tell there's something wrong. Hanako? Are you sure you're okay? Yes. Are you sure? I'm fine. A little more strongly this time, but she turns away as she says it. It only makes me doubt her answer, yet at the same time, I can tell she doesn't want to talk about it further. Having already had one very awkward conversation today that I'm still not fully over, I don't want to pursue the matter too much either. We settle back into our routine, debating over our answers whenever a doubt comes up, but as time goes on, I notice that Hanako isn't talking at all. It's frustrating. She'd made so much progress. It makes me a little angry at Shizune and Misha for undoing the surprise Lily had wanted to keep secret so much. I know I'm at fault too. Maybe I could have kept it under wraps somehow. Shizune has noticed Hanako's silence as well and is also getting antsy. I can see it on her face. It's strange that, even though she's deaf, Shizune has perceived Hanako's unusual quietness sooner than Misha. Oh boy. Hanako, you're being too quiet. You have to contribute too. Someday we might work on a bigger project, like one that's so big it's worth celebrating afterwards, like with ice cream or cake. If you act like this, we won't take you along. I can tell that they're trying to tease her to bring her out of her shell, but I don't think that kind of approach will work on Hanako. It will just make her feel worse. Guys, don't tease her like that. Chit-chan, it's all in good fun. Chit-chan says she teases everyone anyway. They do back off though, with Misha moving away from the issue by asking me a question again. On seeing how difficult the problem she is working on is, I don't know whether it was a skillful dodge or mere coincidence. It takes way more of our time than necessary because Shizune keeps disagreeing with me while I'm trying to explain it to Misha, and Misha is quick to believe her over me. So quick, in fact, that she forgets to translate what Shizune is saying. Hey, the clock is kind of ticking down. We should speed up a little. Hit-chan, you sound a little like Shit-chan there. Just because I looked at my watch? Geez, is that really all it takes? Time management and suddenly I'm the student council president? Oh. I look at Hanako's desk to see how she's doing, and freeze. Our papers are covered in equations, but Hanako's only halfway there. It seems like she hasn't written anything in the past 20 minutes. When I realize that, I want to kick myself for how dumb I've been. I should have known that someone as fragile as Hanako wasn't just going to brush off what happened so easily. But I've been too eager to move on from an awkward situation to notice. She has been slowly shutting down for the last half hour, and I had no clue. Her pen is still in her hand, but she doesn't slowly spin it around like she usually does. There isn't a single idle movement from Hanako. Only the fact that she tries to inch away once she feels Shizune, Misha, and I looking at her tells me that she is even still conscious. We look away, and at least in my case, it's partly out of shame that it's gotten to this point. Though on the outside she has shut down almost completely, I know that it's a different story on the inside. What kinds of things could she be thinking about as she tries harder and harder to shrink into herself? As if by willing it she could somehow disappear. Everyone is looking at her now, stealing quick glances in between putting the finishing touches on their work. Misha attempts to ask her what's wrong, but that only makes the problem worse. If she weren't frozen to her seat, she would probably run out of the room right now. Misha's questions are loud enough to be heard throughout the entire classroom, and for a second I'm ready to snap at her, because I can only imagine how much worse it's making Hanako feel. Of course, if I were to do that, it would only make the situation worse. I'd believed that Hanako had gotten stronger, and she has, but it wasn't enough, and I was too eager to believe it. Now she's terrified, alone in the middle of the classroom, and there's nothing I can do without drawing more attention to her. Oh, that is a situation once you're in. How do you deal with it? I'd like to... No, thinking of myself, like when I'm in those situations, the best things people have done for me is kind of just go, hey, do you want to step outside for a bit? Like, just get me completely out of that situation, because I've had situations like this before where I've had these shutdowns in class. Oh, it does draw brief attention to you, but once you're out of the room, people tend to forget about it, and it gives you that chance where there aren't eyes on you. You can just stand outside, maybe take her to the tea room. Though, do I suppose in my case, in school, that was more the, support, the learning assistant that was assigned to me. Because she had the authority to be able to take me out of class. It's infuriating. Misha's worried, and even Shizune is biting her lip. None of us know how to deal with this situation, so I decide to call Muto. His judgment would probably be better than ours. I look up and manage to catch his eye, silently motioning for him to come over. I want to make as little fuss about this as possible, since if there's anything that would make this worse, it's more attention being focused on her. I know that Hanako can see everyone staring at our group, specifically at her. Because they know if there's a problem, it has to be her. Everyone knows her, and it's the first thing anyone's mind would leap to. Her reputation for being a truant has marked her as an unusual person, even an unusual Yamagu. Who knows how many times they've stared at her before? Maybe it's because she's seen the class staring at her so much that she fears their gazes like she does, cowering from them. The time it takes Muto to walk over must be like an eternity to Hanako, and she looks as if she's about to fall over. Muto quietly begins to ask us what's wrong before catching himself as he sees Hanako. Did we upset her? Don't worry. Muto bends down after calming Misha and looks intently at Hanako's face. Hi, Katawa. Can I help you at all? His voice is hushed and gentle. Everyone's acting so differently around Hanako now that the whole class has noticed something's wrong with her. Hanako doesn't respond, so Muto gently rests a hand on her shoulder. She starts shaking at his touch, but won't even look up. Hanako continues to stare into the equations on her desk, vision so unfocused that I doubt she even sees them. She's worse than before. I remember that not even an hour ago she was able to talk to him almost normally. Muto grimaces a bit as he stands again, and now that his expression's changed, I can see he wasn't exactly unaffected by what happened either. He takes a breath to settle himself before speaking in a very quiet voice. I'm a little impressed at how quickly he takes control of the situation. Is that it? Nothing's wrong then? Muto seems to say that to no one in particular. However, his words sound convincing enough that most of the people who were looking over at Hanako now turn away, getting back to their work. He gives a quick glance to his left and right. Several people at the desks around us are still staring curiously, but other than that, we seem to have escaped attracting too much attention. Muto notices me doing the same as him and smiles a little, in his usual stilted way. I think, for Ikazawa's sake, that it would be good to quickly take her somewhere away from others. Nakai, Akamichi, could you please take Ikazawa out of the classroom? I'll keep everyone settled, so please don't worry about anything but her, okay? He looks at Misha to tell her to interpret his words for Shizune, but she's already finishing her translation by the time he does. It's remarkable how little thought she needs to sign, as she still looks quite dazed otherwise. Nodding, Shizune and I stand and move to either side of Hanako. Muto steps back to allow us some room and talks to the table behind us as some people there began to mutter between themselves about what's going on. We look at each other before lowering ourselves in unison, taking one arm around each of our shoulders and lifting. The two of us begin to walk, at a slow pace to make sure we don't inadvertently hurt her. As much as we try to make this look normal, I'm quite sure there would be many more gazes on us if not for Muto's distraction. Eventually, thankfully, we reach the door and go through. Nobody's outside, so we walk down the hallway. It doesn't seem like it's making her more at ease than she was in the classroom. Finally, I ask if she just wants to sit down. For a while, we simply stay in place and wait for her to say something. Shizune tentatively rubs Hanako's shoulder a little, but there's no response. Eventually, she shakes her head a little when Shizune tries again. Both of us are looking at her, so we pick up on it immediately. Shizune's hand again comes to rest on Hanako's shoulder as she awakens, her face lifting to two very worried and anxious people looking at her. She looks at us silently for a while. I'm initially worried she might freak out or do something extreme, but those fears prove unwarranted as her expression slowly changes from an almost lifeless blank slate to a more normal, withdrawn shyness. She wordlessly lowers her head, her eyes evasively moving to the side. She looks embarrassed, almost ashamed. I want to say something, anything, to help. I can't, though. I don't really know what just happened, or even what caused it. I feel helpless and ashamed of myself for not being of any use. Shizune sighs before looking at me. Even without words, I think I can tell what she's asking. I'll take Hanako to the nurse. Is that okay by you? I try to communicate my intentions through hand gestures, but I don't feel like I managed to get through to her very well. Shizune makes a dreary face in response to my gesticulations, confirming my impression. She stabs her finger in the air decisively, first at me, then at Hanako, and then towards the stairs. She waits for me to nod before pointing at herself, then pointing at the door to the classroom. I get the feeling Shizune is much better at this than I am. I nod at her, since her plan is, after all, the same as mine. Shizune gets ready to make her exit, but she only leaves after looking at Hanako for quite some time. Are you okay with me taking you to the nurse's office? Hanako doesn't say anything or nod, but she stands up in place by herself, and when I begin to walk, she obediently follows. I've read about people being catatonic before, but I think this is the first time this time I'm seeing it for myself. She looks extremely tired. After everything that's happened, it's not a surprise. Well, part of me wonders if the nurse is the best idea, like, right now. I feel kind of like the quiet of the tea room. Maybe just like let her be alone for a little bit might help. Being questioned about it, I don't know, in my experience, makes it worse. After Hanako silently takes off her shoes and lies on the bed in the infirmary, The nurse and I take our leave. He shuts the curtain behind us. We both take a seat, and I quietly and thoroughly go through everything that happened in quite some detail. I want to understand what happened, and the nurse has as good a chance as anyone of knowing. He nods throughout my explanation, his face looking troubled as I finish. It must have been very troubling for you to have seen all this. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I get that she fainted, but I don't really understand anything about why it happened or why she's acting like this. He nods, but his face is clouded. You don't know either? Well, yes and no. It's complicated. I assume you've heard about the concept of patient confidentiality at some point? A skill like this, you're required to be trained in how to handle various mental conditions, or... So, I suppose... No, but I'm still just, I'm again, like, speaking with my own experience from, like, having meltdowns like this. That, in the moment, it was the most helpful thing people could do for me was to give me space alone. I suppose, like, things here have worked out because, like, the response was just let her lay down and leave her alone. Like, there didn't seem to be any questioning from the nurse. This is a bit of a minefield in that respect. I'm going to put this pretty bluntly. This is a matter for Ikezawa, me, and her therapist. I move to protest, but think better of it. I want to deny what he says, but if I think this through rationally, what he says makes perfect sense. I understand. Good. I wish I could help you more, but I think what Ikezawa needs right now isn't somebody prying into her past or her emotions. She just needs somebody to be there for her. She needs a friend. For what it's worth, I think you've done well in bringing her here. Sounds like you and your friends dealt with the situation well too. I'd give you a lollipop or sticker as a reward, but you might be a little too old for either. He gives a cocky grin, obviously trying his best to lighten the atmosphere. I'm not really in a laughing mood, but he does manage to get a smile out of me. Thanks. Do you mind if I stay here with Hanako? I appreciate the thought, but I think it would be better to let her rest for now. She'll be let back to her dormitory room this evening, so you could visit her then. I agree with him before standing. It feels like all I can ever do around a nurse is humbly agree to what he says. But it was the same with the doctors in the hospital too. The walk back to the classroom is a long one, my mind feeling heavy under the weight of so many things happening so suddenly. Is Yamagu not a Western public school? Other schools do not know how to... Yeah, I suppose. Although, kind of feels a little awkward though that there's only like one nurse. Like for all the variety of different conditions kids could have here. Even as I re-enter the classroom, I'm thinking about Hanako. My stomach feels like it's turning into knots while I think about how to deal with her. I still don't know what I'm going to say when I see her again. Thankfully, the class doesn't pay me much heed. There are a couple of questioning glances, but overall, not many people seem to be very aware of what happened. Muto raises his eyebrows to get my attention when I pass by his desk. Okay, I take it Ikezawa is in the infirmary now? Yeah, I took her there. The nurse said I should let her rest. Muto nods, assuring me that I made the right call. He scratches his chin for a second before rising from his desk. Everyone, I want you to continue with the exercise. Nakai, I'll see you in the hallway, please. His speech is hushed, but overall he doesn't seem to be acting too differently from how he usually does. Being a teacher, maybe it's to be expected. Okay, obviously there's more than one nurse, we only had so much time on him. Oh. I wonder, is that the reason... I still feel like it's kind of bad, like, they never named a nurse. Or is that maybe why, so they can pretend it's it's like, maybe it's a different nurse each time. It's like the Nurse Joy thing. They just all look the same. As we go out into the hallway, I notice him taking a quick glance left and right to check if there are any students milling around. The hallway is nearly soundless, but I can't think of anything except waiting for Muto to speak. Nakai, what do you think the purpose of this school is? To cater to the needs of disabled students? Muto scratches his head as he shakes it. No, if we wanted to do that, we would have built a whole new school from scratch. One floor, talking whiteboards, that kind of thing. Look around, Nakai. This school is about giving you all a future that you would have been denied in regular education. Uh-huh. Think of it this way. If we wanted you to graduate and go straight into a hospital, do you think we'd put in this much effort? The bluntness of Muto's statement temporarily stuns me, causing me to forget about the immediate situation. No. That's right. We want you to all to leave here as useful members of society. I'm not quite sure I'm following you. I have high hopes for you, Nakai. You're possibly the first student I've had that gets my lectures. That isn't something that a teacher should be admitting so freely. You could easily take your studies of science well into university. Have you ever considered that? Okay, so this is the science conversation again. I was expecting this to be more relating to the situation at hand. I can't say I have. Well, what have you considered? For your future, that is. I can't say that I've put that much thought into my future. For a moment, I'm distinctly reminded of Lily questioning me about the same subject. It's only been a little over 5 months since I was gasping for air on the ground. It's too soon to be thinking about the future. And besides, Hanako's problems seem much bigger to me right now. Muto gives a disapproving sigh before continuing. Think of this place as an opportunity. Here you have boundless facilities, good teachers, plus the added bonus of the nurse and his staff. You should be doing nothing but thinking of the future. Right. As I raise my head to meet his gaze, a thought occurs to me. It's almost like Muto totally sidestepped the issue at hand. Excuse me, but why do none of the staff seem to care when Hanako skips class? I've seen you watch her walk out of class more than once. Shouldn't you at least say something? Well, Nakai, it's not really that simple. Every student here has special needs. If it weren't for that, then we wouldn't have a school here. For example, I wouldn't keep you in class if you were having trouble breathing, would I? But that's not... Muto cuts me off before I can even think about finishing my sentence. Ikezawa's case is very much like that. But instead of CPR or a pacemaker, what she needs is time and space. The faculty was made aware of this from the day she arrived here. Thus, whenever she feels the need to leave classes, we let her do so. And even though she isn't a star pupil, she seems to pass all of her exams, so it hasn't affected her ability to study. Isn't that enough? I open my mouth to protest, but I can't find a fault in his argument. While her condition does at first seem to be wholly physiological, its worst effects have been on her psyche. That's a good school. Gonna be honest. Like, taking the whole, like, treating mental health with the same severity as physical health. It still puts me off, though. Isn't he just passing on the responsibility for a problem? Surely she can't go like this for her entire life. I understand that you might not be used to this kind of thing yet. It's been a big change for you. That said, it's less than a year until graduation now. Maybe you won't have to get used to this school. If you keep your head down, I'm sure you'll do well enough in your exams. I numbly nod, more to simply acknowledge that I'm listening than out of agreement. I felt like I was getting used to this school, but it feels like it's just been thrown back in my face. But what about Hanako? I believe, well, I hope, that she will perform well enough to do what she wants to do. What that is, I don't know. Not all students leave school with an idea of what they want to do, unfortunately. He takes care to emphasize the last word, as if it wasn't quite clear enough already, and gives me a moment to mull his words over. Today's been a troublesome day for you, and I doubt you'd be able to concentrate much after all that's happened, so I'll allow you to take the rest of the day off. Your grades have been good in this class so far, which makes me think you won't have any trouble catching up on what we've been doing. He gives a small smile along with his praise, as if to make up for the seriousness of his lecturing before now. Go collect your things, and I'll see you tomorrow. Right. Thank you. Muto's roundabout speech has left my thoughts scattered. I'm still not any closer to working out what I can do to help Hanako, if anything, and my mind is all the more confused after what Muto said. I'm also still bothered by the fact that Hanako is helped at least as much by Shizune, her enemy by proxy, as by myself. But I don't know whether that is just male bravado or genuine concern. Oh. I'm trying to... Sorry, I think another second time in this stream I've been reminded of the Monogatari series. But, during the Koi Monogatari arc, I remember it was kind of like brought up by Hanako had thought that it doesn't matter to me who helps my friends as long as they're helped. I think Hisao shouldn't be feeling too upset that Shizune was partly was helping there. If he really cares about Hanako. While I collect Hanako's and my things from the class, I continue to try and sort out my feelings. I want to say that I understand her and that I'm there for her, but while I might have been able to say that just yesterday, I can't say it now. I wish I could. I lay on my bed, trying to collect my thoughts. After Hanako's panic attack, I found myself fundamentally reassessing the relationship we share and what I know about her. I had a hard enough time dealing with 4 months in the hospital. One look at her scars tells me she was in one for a lot longer than I was. Thinking he's responsible. Yeah, that's what I was worried about at the beginning of this stream when he had I want to save her. Be that as it may, I know next to nothing about her past. She has told me about the house fire, but only in the most basic way. And what of her family? I still haven't asked Lily about them. There hasn't been a good opportunity to bring it up. I can fix her beam! I don't know where she grew up or what her old school was like. Nor of her past friends, her wishes and ambitions. Not even her tastes in music, food, and movies. All the little things that I knew about all my old friends. Just what have I been doing for all this time I've been with her and Lily? In the distance, I hear the bells signaling the end of classes. With any luck, Lily will soon realize that neither Hanako nor I are around and return to the dormitories. Oh. So I was just thinking that this brings up a little thing again about how, quickly the events of Katawa Shoujo take place. That, you haven't been friends for long. Like, yeah, you're not going to know everything. And I think it's when you realize you don't know much about someone and you care that you don't know much, like that's I think a start of like a proper friendship. Is when you realize, no, I want to know more. I'm not content with, like just this surface level friendship. Nope, whoops. Where's my text history? I missed one. My mobile phone starts to ring, cutting my thinking short. It quite startles me as I've rarely been called since coming to Yamaku. Oh, no. There we go. Hello? Hisao Nakai speaking. Hanako takes place over the shortest period of time. It doesn't beat around the bush. It's more sense why. Yeah, okay. I guess I'll find out. Oh, Hisao. I'm glad I found you. You weren't at any of our usual places, so I thought this would be the fastest way to contact you. I probably should have guessed it would be Lily, as she's one of the few people I've given my number to. Even through the phone, her voice sounds slightly on edge. Hanako and I left class early. She had some kind of panic attack. The line goes silent. If it weren't for the background static, I would have thought Lily had hung up on me. I understand. Could you come by my room? I'd like to talk with you. Sure, I'd appreciate the chance to have a bit of a talk, actually. Good. I also have some bad news. I think we should discuss this in person. It's hard to grasp the seriousness of the situation from Lily's tone. She sounds so calm most of the time, but that could be a good or bad thing, depending on how you look at it. Oh, is this the... Of course, I'm wondering, is this going to bring up the, Lily, having her holiday? Going back to Scotland over Hanako's birthday? Because didn't we have to have a week early or something? Okay, I'll be right there. I collect Hanako's school things from my desk and head straight for Lily's room. I rap my knuckles on her door, and she soon calls me in. Lily sits at the table inside her room, looking a little worse for wear. I guess that's because of the bad news. Following her gesture of invitation, I sit across from her and lay Hanako's things on the table. Well, there's no point in either of us waiting. Would you mind going first, Hisao? What happened today? My memory of the incident is already beginning to fade, but I explain it as best I can to Lily. Inviting Hanako to work with the group, Shizune and Misha's questioning, our foray to town getting discovered, and the subsequent panic attack. I add Shizune's reaction almost as an afterthought, but Lily seems to take some kind of comfort in hearing about it. I guess rivals don't become rivals for no reason. There must be some history there, but now isn't the time to explore it. I see. She had said her therapist sessions were helping, but I had my doubts. It's quite a shame. Her birthday has caused problems before, but I had hoped that she would have improved with you around, and the more intensive therapy. Where is Hanako now? Last time I saw her, she was in the infirmary. I guess she's gone back to her room by now. She wasn't in the library or the tea room when I checked, so I can only assume that too. You said you also had some bad news. What's the matter? Does it concern Hanako? Lily shifts her position, the body's way of saying she's searching for the right words. My aunt has fallen gravely ill. I'm afraid I'm going to be heading back to Scotland to visit her, and to spend some time with my family. What? Is she alright? When do you leave? I'm not altogether sure of exactly how she's faring at the moment. Though last I heard she was stable. I'll be leaving Saturday. It's the earliest flight that I could get. Stable. That's code for needs to stay in the hospital. I've been stable long enough to know that, and to know that it doesn't necessarily mean someone is in good condition, but merely treading water. On the upside, stable is much better than critical condition. At least she's not on the brink of death. Stable. That's a relief. Yes, but this means that I won't be here for Hanako's birthday. I wanted to tell you now so we could think of something before we told Hanako, but after today's events, I'm not even sure if there's going to be an issue if we simply cancel the party. I don't think that's such a good idea. Hanako already knows that we were planning a party now. To go back on that seems like the wrong thing to do. Well, so we should do something for your going away, right? You make it sound as if I won't be coming back. If all goes well, I should only be away for a week, though possibly 2. That's one relief at least. With that in mind, what do you suggest then? Given the circumstances, I don't think karaoke is really appropriate. You're not going away for the greatest of reasons, so having too much fun would feel wrong. What did you do for her birthday last year? Last year, I literally couldn't get her out of her room. She'd locked the door. All I could do was leave food outside for her, making sure that she was at least eating well. This is perhaps the most depressed I've ever seen and heard Lily act. I feel sorry for her, given how defeated she must feel to be unable to help her closest friend. Perhaps it would be better to throw the party before you leave, then. That does sound like it would be the easiest option. I think we should at least tell Hanako, both about your trip and her party. I have her things from class as well. That's a good point. Should we go and visit her now? I think that would be a good idea. Part of me is dying to see Hanako. The last time I saw her, she looked like death walking, and these last few hours have torn me apart just thinking about that. We quietly get up and file out of Lily's room. Hanako's room is next door in the same hallway. Knocking lightly gets us no response, but the door proves to be unlocked. Lily pauses for a moment as the handle unexpectedly moves under her hand, before opening the door. I do wonder if maybe, Hisao should just, let Lily go in alone first, and maybe, let Lily find out if Hanako would be okay with 2 people. Hanako's room is startlingly bare and monotone. There are no decorations on the plain white walls, a plain dark blue blanket, and only a few books, papers, and purely utilitarian items on the shelves. Even her bed sheets are monochrome. The entire room feels as subdued as Hanako's character. Hanako herself is laying curled up on her bed. She may not be crying now, but her eyes are closed tightly to stop herself, and the tracks left by her tears still sit on her reddened cheeks. I quietly walk in and set her bag down on her desk, afraid of startling her too much. Hello, Hanako. Hisao told me about what happened today. Are you alright? Hanako's eyes open, though only a little. I'm okay. She tilts her head slightly to look at me, noticing my grimacing before I can hide it. Sorry for making you worry. Really, I'm fine now. She really doesn't look nor sound okay. Though, at least she seems more calm than she was before. She still looks as if the slightest breath could emotionally break her. I said it before, right? You don't need to be sorry for this. He sounds right. Oh. Is my mic peaking? It shouldn't be capping out into the red like that. So I need to check that. That looks bad. It doesn't sound like it's peaking? Okay. I'm just seeing that it's lighting up red for me on my... Maybe I should... Okay, maybe that works better. Oh, and of course I tabbed out of the game, which means this is going to be going on. Just need to... Oh, there we go. He sounds right. I shouldn't have hidden something like a birthday celebration from you. I see Hanako shiver at the word. Lily picks up on the silence that follows and crouches down to Hanako's level. Oh. I wonder... Did the house fire happen on her birthday? Because no, like... Because yeah, I'm trying to think of like other reasons, like why like this is like it's her birthday is such like seems to be such a like cause of stress for her. I see Hanako shiver at the word. Lily picks up on the silence that follows and crouches down to Hanako's level. I'm the one who should be sorry, Hanako. Hanako's eyes open to peer at Lily. She looks at Lily for some time, taking in her face with those dark, analytical eyes of hers. Lily must have made the right impression on her, as Hanako recovers enough to prop herself up on the bed, and shift to sitting on its side. Hanako worries about many things, but troubling others is foremost among them. Hearing Hanako shuffling, Lily moves forward and feels out the side of the bed, eventually taking a seat beside her and taking Hanako's left hand in both of hers. The feeling of me being out of place when the two are together has lessened in the time that we've known each other, but it's still occasionally very much there. This is one of those times, I think. Lily, if you want me to go... I don't want that. Lily and I are both surprised at Hanako mustering her courage. A half-mumbled okay is all I can give her in reply, and I take her desk chair to sit in. Hanako, I'm afraid I have some bad news. So, Lily's trying to break the news now? With Hanako having affirmed our relationship so clearly, perhaps Lily thought the timing was good. Or, at least, as good as it will ever be. My aunt has fallen ill, so I need to return to my family for a time. Concern replaces Hanako's remorseful expression. Your family? You mean in Scotland, right? That's right. Akira and I will be leaving Saturday. So, you're going away? I won't be gone for long. Probably only a week or two. I'll be back before you know it, and Isa will be here, right? That's right. I'm not going anywhere. Hanako seems to take only minor comfort in this, but she does manage to summon some resolve from somewhere inside her. Is your aunt going to be alright? I'm not sure. Silence falls. It's depressing that the thing to truly bring Hanako out of her rut is another's misfortune. I decide to bring up the other matter that brought us here, to distract at least in part from the dismal feeling permeating the room. Anyway, we were thinking that it would be a good idea to have a going-away party for Lily, and it could double as... yeah. I cut myself off before mentioning her birthday, as that seems to be a trigger for such fierce emotions within her. Lily gives Hanako's hand a gentle squeeze. Is it alright by you, Hanako? It won't be anything lavish or overdone, just something small in my room. So just in the school? Just us? That's right. Just the three of us. If you like, I could ask Akira to come as well. Okay. You're only going for a week? 1 week or 2, yes. I promise you it won't be any longer. Okay. Most people would be upset at hearing about a friend's family member falling ill and happy at having a party, but with Hanako, it seems that both events are on the same level. Alright then. You look like you need a rest, Hanako, so it might be best if we all went back to our rooms for now. You know that if you ever want anything, you can always talk to me or Hisao, right? Lily's voice is pensive, an unusual edge for someone as confident in herself as she. I understand. Thank you, Lily. Hisao. Well then, good night, Hanako. Night. I let out a long breath after the door closes behind us. It feels a little like I've been deep underwater and only now I've been able to come up for air. Lily doesn't seem to be doing well either. She looks pale and drawn. Are you alright? I'm just a little tired. It's been hectic recently. Have you slept at all? A little tired sounds like an understatement given how you look. I think I managed to get a couple of hours of sleep before class. I'll be okay. I feel bad about pressing Lily right now. I think both of us are pretty tired for everything that's happened as well. I think you should get some rest. It's been a big day, and staying up isn't good for your complexion. Thank you for your concern, Hisao. Good night, then. Okay. Night, Lily. I leave Lily in the hallway as she opens the door to her room, and begin to make my way to my own. As I walk down the quiet hallway, I can't get that image of Hanako out of my mind. Huddled and pitiable, lying helplessly with tears on her cheeks. I began to think that she was just a normal, if extremely shy person. Her problems run much deeper. Trying to take our relationship further than what we share now when she's so fragile and vulnerable wouldn't be right. I don't need to be more than her friend in order to protect her, to try and stop anything like this ever happening again. Hisao, you're gonna end up just hurting yourself. The possibility of my feelings for her going beyond that doesn't matter anymore. Hanako is precious to me, and that's why I can't take advantage of her. I do appreciate the maturity in that, though. The kind of realizing that like, this isn't a situation you need to be bringing romantic feelings into. I know myself that when there's issues like this going on, romance just gives you more things to worry about. It doesn't help. But even so, there's still that sting I feel when I think that way. For now, I need to sleep. Tomorrow, hopefully, will be a better day. We all know what happened last time when an MC confirmed their feelings to someone with depression. MC. I'm trying to remember what example you're referring to, Minnie. Also, I think I'm gonna have to finish it here. Sayori from. Oh yeah, don't. Oh. DDLC. Still, my feelings on that game are mixed. But yeah, I think I'll be finishing up here for today. Yeah, things are definitely getting interesting. I do feel I'm a little surprised, but Hisao so far in this route is... I think I'm liking this version of Hisao the most. Where you got the best ending for DLC. So, I think I got through... through most like the base game content for DLC. I just kind of then got to a point where I was just kind of like, I'm not like the game had lost me by the end of it, and I didn't want to go on like to read the side content unless the side content gives you a better ending. But anyway, yeah, I'm like still a little cautious that Hisao's going to end up doing something dumb. And he does still have, like, some ideas that feel like they're going to get him hurt. But compared to the other routes, like, Hisao does seem to be more understanding of Hanako here. And much more considerate of her. So, like, I do remember in both Emi and Rin's routes, he was very... he annoyed me quite a bit. He wasn't as bad in Lily's route. I think what bothered me the most in Lily's route was how much trouble his heart caused him compared to how little effort he put into trying to, like, you know, alleviate that. No, but so far in Hanako's, he's being overly conscientious and overthinking everything. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like he's perfect all of a sudden in Hanako's route, but he does feel so far just in Hanako's route, he does feel like more like I'm trying to think of the right word, but like more, yeah, just a better person. Like, it feels like he's putting more effort into... Like, overthinking and underthinking are both problems, but I think if you're going to do one, overthinking isn't as bad as not thinking at all. Like, ideally, you don't do either. But yeah, I'm still nervous for like seeing if anything worse happens with Hanako. Like that panic attack like that's already kind of quite a stressful thing, but I'm getting a little nervous about her birthday again. Because her birthday was kind of like a stressful point in Lily's route, and I'm wondering if it's going to be worse when Hanako's actually the focus. But yeah, that'll be me for today. So I'll be back on Friday/Saturday. There's a reason you said you think Hanako's route has the worst bad. Yeah, I'm really hoping I don't have to see that. But yeah, I'll be back on Friday evening/Saturday morning with Mooney for our Walk into Light. As we move into I think we'd said the Asm Step was going to be our next port of call. And yeah, that'll be me. And then hopefully next week I'll be getting into some horror games for October. But until then, thank you for coming along. I do hope you enjoyed. And yeah, we need to get the thumbnails. But yeah, until next time I see you, have a good day, have a good evening,